So wherever that takes me.
Okay.
All right, we're live. We'll call the order, meeting to order. It is, I don't have time in front of me, 6:01. And seeing as all councilors are present, we do need quorum. If anybody has anything to declare at this time for declaration of conflict of interest, do so now. Seeing none. Addition, deletion, or approval of the agenda. So we will be looking for a motion to.
I was.
Okay, I was just kind of wondering.
No,
Looking for a motion to approve the agenda. If there's nothing to be added or deleted from it. Good. Okay,
I'll second it.
seconded by Councilor Bent, moved by Deputy Mayor Ferguson. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Motion's passed. Approval of the minutes, can we continue on, because I know there's a lot of them on this, can we continue as all one block? Approval, we're good with that. Approval of the minutes, we'll be looking for a motion for the regular council meeting November 1st, our budget meeting of November 6th, committee of the whole November 15th, and special council meeting of November 29th. If everybody's good with the whole block of them, to make a motion and seconder.
I'll make a motion for the minutes as presented.
So moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Questions on the motion?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Just one. On the 11/15, there was, I thought, and I may be wrong, the council was to reconvene on all the info that you were collating on the borough plan before it goes to Alex. And I think the sentence read that once collated, you were sending it to Alex. But it didn't say that we were going to reconvene and discuss.
All the points.
Yeah.
I thought we had a comment. You had a comment. I thought we were gonna send it to him because some of the.
That was my understanding, is we were gonna collate it, send it to Alex, wait for his input back, and then meet after the fact of what he, because we thought at the time that a lot of it could be, or I shouldn't say a lot of it, some of it may be able to be put in. That's from your guys' recommendations that could have been put into the plan and then come back and meet. We just didn't want to double meet and.
I haven't even finished collating everything. I still have, I think, 16 pages worth of notes to put in. So, and I don't mind, like, my mind, I kind of thought I was sending it out to council as the package collated and then.
Did I okay?
Yeah, to send it to them. Is that how everybody
If
wishes?
everybody's good with that,
Yeah, because I think there was some things in the collated document that Alice may be able to respond to, because I think, well, if we get together too fast first, we're gonna still have questions around some of them.
Well, I'm just afraid that we've forgotten things too.
Yeah, well, that too.
That's my concern.
But I mean, council won't be doing any of the readings until they're comfortable with the document there. So I'll hopefully get it finished before I go on winter break. I was hoping to finish it this week, but I haven't had a chance to pick it up. So hopefully by the end of next week, I'll be able to get it out to council for review, and then we'll send it off to Alex after.
because I think we already knew we were gonna be pushing it again anyway, so it's gonna be, we're gonna have time. It's gonna be a discussion of council anyway before the reading starts, so.
Yeah.
Everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Any further questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Seeing none against? All passed. Presentation to council, number 6, we have none. Business arising from the minutes. So we will be looking for a motion to table A and B.
For A1
Well,
and A2.
A1, yeah, I guess it's A1 and A2. I should have thicker glasses. That's the operating guidelines and the agreement, both would be together, because one would complete the other. So we're looking for a motion to table that, and
Yeah.
moved by Councilor Daly to table 7,
Second
1, and 2, and seconded by Deputy Mayor Ferguson. Questions on the motion?
Who seconded it?
Let's start Deputy Mayor. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of tabling the document?
Aye.
Against, seeing none, motion is passed. Fire dispatch agreement, 7B. I'll just read it quickly. Council has presented a copy of the agreement from the city of St. John for fire dispatch services on November 15th, 2023. Council requested the agreement be moved to the December regular council meeting to ratify. And we will be looking for a motion on that.
I had a question, yeah, has that been to the lawyer? But
Yes.
I'm reading it and it's so legalese. that
It is,
it's
but
just like-
that's the same
Thank you.
agreement that they send to anybody they dispatch for. I didn't send it to our lawyer for another look at it, because it's been through so many, but I can.
Well, not if you don't think it needs it, as long as it's been looked at.
It is a
So-
lot of legalese, but I didn't see anything outstanding here that caused red flags.
So do we want the motion or me a motion first to?
I counsel can make a motion for me to submit that to the lawyer and we
So
can
it's up
off
to
another month or two.
council.
It's entirely.
If that was well and comfortable, as you mentioned, it's probably been to a dozen councils already.
I think it is a standard document.
The only thing,
From what I
the
read,
only
it
thing that
was-
changes is just the total amount charged, because it's based on our tax base. So,
So if council's good, are we looking for a motion to ratify that?
I'll give you the motion.
Motion is moved by Deputy Mayor Ferguson, seconded by
Me.
Councilor Sonia. Questions now on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? So moved. Department reports, general government, and if I heard correctly, it was none.
or for myself,
Yeah.
no, there isn't one,
Okay,
but there's several counselors submitted their reports online.
okay, so I just wanted to be sure what's all there, I didn't want to skip over anything. 7.1, mayor's report, my meetings and that have been submitted. I didn't know whether to bring up on the correspondence or now, so I'll do it now in case I forget. We did receive a card from the council and staff of Eastern Charlotte, wishing us a Merry Christmas. Set that there for, which was nice of them, so we appreciate that. The other thing was, I just wanted to send a reminder too, that in January, because we won't have it, this will be our last regular council meeting of 2023. Wow, it seems like we just started. So I did want to remind everybody that in January, the deputy mayor's position is up for the year term, so just that'll give everybody time, I guess, over the holidays, because we got nothing better to do. than-
Think about that.
Yeah, just put that on your plate, that when we do come back at our first council meeting in January, that will be up for re-election. And I want to, seems early to me, because I don't, being a guy, I don't start in Christmas until December 22nd, so I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy holidays, especially to all the community in Fundy Shores. And I also want to thank council on a couple things. One, as you all are aware, Linda received word back today from government that our budget has been approved by government. So I did want to thank Linda personally. I know we've done a lot of work and a lot of stuff that Linda has done. A lot of time has went into this budget, as you all know. So thanks to Linda for taking that among everything else on this year. And thanks to council, because this is our very first budget as a council that you all have had the chance to have input on. I think we're going to have a good year, or a good budget year, I guess. I think we're gonna have a good year anyway, but I think as far as a budget, I think council has done a really good job at doing what we've done. I think we're gonna have a very productive year. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody for that and the work that they've been doing, and hopefully we can get some rest over the holidays and take everything on again in the new year. And that, unless anybody has questions on what I've submitted for meetings, they can.
Can you remind everybody about the tree lighting?
Oh, yeah, so December 10th
Monday. at 6.
The tree lighting is here, at Musqueam Fire Hall, 6 o'clock. But also the recreation committee, will be having, maybe I'll leave that to you when you get to recreation, but make sure I don't get it wrong. Breakfast with Santa, I believe is at 8,
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Are you dressed in that?
Do I ever dress up? Yeah,
So-
Santa will be there.
If it starts 8 to 10, what time are we expected to be there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That was all part of the recreation committee. So they've got that looked after, right? I assume that's hoping that everything's
All
all
of
done.
council is going to be there to assist.
Oh,
Yeah.
so,
I said I couldn't be.
okay.
I've got other commitments, I was.
Things are- so it is,
About 3 to 5 will be there.
yeah. So there will be breakfast. Somebody will be there to make sure. So yeah, so just a good reminder to the community as well is hopefully our first tree lighting and our first as a council that as many people that can will show up and come out and have some hot chocolate and
Cookies and
cookies
cream.
and candy canes and, yeah. So other than that, if there's anything else, that is my report. And we will move on to councilors' reports, and that would be Deputy Mayor Ferguson. And did you want to do your council? Did you submit any other reports you had?
My report was submitted, so
Okay.
it's online. The
Okay.
Economic Development Committee did not meet in November. We won't be coming back together until probably later in January when we have a reason to meet.
Okay.
And I would like to take this time to thank the council ladies for helping me, all of us, in getting this first tree lighting together. So thank you.
Yes, a lot of work went in by all of you. Well, work went in,
It's cookies and
Oh, I
candy.
know,
It's
but-
all good.
going in. So your report? Okay. Just want to be sure. Councilor Bennett.
I sent mine in late, so I will read it. So on November 1st, we obviously had a regular council meeting. On the 6th, we had a budget meeting. The 11th, we attended the Remembrance Day ceremony. November 15th, we had the Committee of the Whole meeting. November 24th and 25th, I attended the UMNB 2023 Conference and Trade Show. On the 26th, we attended the UMNB annual meeting. On November 29th, we had a special council meeting to pass the budget. And December Saturday night, we attended the fire hall appreciation dinner. And I'm sure I have missed something, but that was the highlights. The community development did not meet in November and will not be meeting until January or February, depending on circumstances that arise. I did send a message out to them today to ask them to invite anybody and everybody to our holiday mingle and to wish them Merry Christmas, and if they had any concerns, to send them off.
Any questions for Councilor Bennett? Seeing none, Councilor Bueller.
I submitted mine online. Just realized there was a spelling here, fixed it. So I wasn't here for the November meeting, so I really combined my two, but more or less there was some meetings. We did the astronomy, but I'm sure you guys already talked about when I wasn't here, so that was great. Let's go to since then. I had a CBDC meeting, first meeting that I actually went to. Special board meeting on November 6th, November 11th, Remembrance Day. 15th was the meeting of the whole Fredericton weekend for the UMNB. So I listed on there some of the stuff that the UMNB is going to be working on the municipality's behalf. So anything that was voted on, I did put that in the letter as well. And I did summarize it, so it's not word for word what they actually said, so that's there. And there's some interesting things, so anybody has some time, they should take a look at that. Upcoming events, December the 8th, this coming Friday, we have bingo here at the hall at 6:30. We have reached out to our volunteers on the recreation committee, and I have 3 helpers for January, February, and March. So we are gonna try to make a schedule so that way there we have some people ready to help. And breakfast with Santa this Sunday, as we mentioned, Sunday, 8 to 10 for breakfast. Participants wishing to visit with Santa had to register by 6 o'clock today. All family members are welcome to have breakfast regardless of the age. If you only want to visit with Santa to receive a free gift, then you have to register. Older siblings, parents, grandparents, guardians that want to come and eat, please do so and enjoy the breakfast with your family. Free childcare is also being offered at the community center from 10 until 5. Lots of crafts, games, and fun will be had with Katie and Logan. Bring your lunch and a water bottle and outdoor clothing. Then the mayor's tree lighting will be that evening. Do we have a time? 6 o'clock. And then refreshments will be served at the Musquash Fire Hall Station 1. And the rink liner was the only other option that we had to discuss. And at the time when I put this in there, I had put in there that we hadn't had a response and that I was recommended that we move forward to hire somebody to install it as soon as possible. I've since found out that there is somebody coming on Thursday to take a look at it, so hopefully we'll have that installed pretty soon here for the ice for the winter. Don't have a schedule yet for the next recreation meeting. We haven't had anything come up that needed to be discussed, so we haven't got them planned.
Do you, just a quick question for the council, do you know or how many registrants you had for?
Breakfast was Santa
Yeah.
58 as
Okay.
early this morning.
And we
It's
don't,
low, it's usually.
I was just, that's what I was gonna ask, what do we
It's
have to
usually
do that on?
So we are low.
Are they from the whole area or just from the school? Are they from the whole area of Pocalogan to Prince of Wales, the registrants, you know, or are they just?
I didn't get addresses. That's being looked after by Kathy. Kramer.
Be interesting to know
It certainly
who
would
was
be.
notified of it, and who knows about it, if it was just the kids at Thunder Shores.
Yeah, well, all the counselors shared it on social media
Yeah.
and we didn't do mail outs.
We didn't do a mail out?
And we didn't do mail out
anything?
for the tree lighting or anything either,
Oh,
so.
okay.
So we've got to get the word out about that, so we can.
I just wonder if it's an age thing as well. Like if some of the kids that used to come are getting older for it. as
Last
well.
year they had 80,
Yeah, that's.
so, yeah, I'm not real sure. It could be that it could be anything, it could be the day, it could be that something else is going on.
Yeah,
That was mentioned earlier as well, so
So Sunday's a bad day.
Sunday's a harder day than Saturday for sure.
it is. That's when Santa was there.
But Santa was very busy,
Yeah,
so.
Santa was busy this year.
Yeah. I think then he offered as much help as any could in an email, but nobody's given anything, they just said show up, so I will show up. So
I didn't see that.
Santa is always busy this time of year. All right, so it's, so just a reminder again, then, Sunday, December 10th, all day. Well, for a good turnout, everybody come and have some good times with Santa. Counselors, any other questions for Counselor Deal? Council? No? Counselor Sonia?
I submitted my report on.
Okay.
The only other thing is we, as a tourism group, probably won't meet again until January or February. The strategic plan for the RSC, there is a meeting on the 18th for that. That's for tourism.
Mhm.
Totally unrelated, did we ever have any feedback on Bundy Link Trail and where they're at in their endeavor?
No, the last time I spoke with Sherry. Was just to confirm that she actually received my email related to council's preferred choice. And I haven't heard anything since, but that's well.
They haven't spoken of it in the meetings we've had with RSC ever since.
All right, any questions for Councillor Sonia? Seeing none, thank you. Councillor Thompson.
I submitted both reports online, the regular council one and the prep. And I do have a prep meeting on the 14th of December. They did it, do it a little early. That's it. Everything's online. And there was nothing in this area concerning us.
Did anyone have any questions? Councillor Thompson. Seeing none. They will report to council.
There isn't one.
Scratch, there isn't one. I'll be nice. And inspection, there's no report from Alex.
No,
Okay. Pass that on. 8, standing committee reports. We're all good for all your reports. You guys are all good with, okay. I do want to make a quick note on that for this year is to thank all the committees, not only council as chairs, but to take a moment, thank all of the community that's been on the committees. The work has not gone unnoticed, and if it wasn't for the committee's work bringing it to council, we would be a lot longer getting where we're at. So certainly a lot of our budgeting and everything else is all because of the work that was done at the committee level and forwarded to council. So I can't say enough good things about all the community efforts that each member of the committee that has taken their time to volunteer their time to put as much effort into committee work, because I think committee work that's the cornerstone of what we need in order to keep going as a council. So kudos to the community of Fundy Shores, and I certainly appreciate all the work you're doing and keep up the good work for the new year.
They deserve a round.
Yes, it's, yeah, we kind of look foolish doing it, but round of applause for the to all the committee. No, they certainly do. I can't stress enough because it is volunteer and they're putting a lot of their own time. And it just goes to show, especially this year in year one, as a newly amalgamated community, the amount of work that they're putting in and the pride they're taking in to bring their ideas forward. So I certainly appreciate it, and I know council does because each of you chair the meetings. So yeah, kudos. Correspondence, the only thing we had was the Merry Christmas card from Eastern Charlotte, which again, much appreciated, and our neighbors. Nothing else for them to correspondence. Okay. Approval of payments.
there are additions under that payments. And I'm just,
Additional to what I have,
well, I don't know if all councils had a chance to.
Oh, okay. That's,
You posted it. I did post it, but I'll just put it up on the screen if council had questions there.
that was the one. So that list you're seeing there will be added when I want the motion to the general government report. For totals. So under general government report, regular is 44,456.56. And then add the 12,626.37, which gave you the total of $57,082.93 for general government. Did I get that all right?
Yep.
Perfect. Please do that. So I am looking for a motion to accept that. Total that I just gave you, and that's the combined total.
Yeah.
Okay, motion moved by Deputy Mayor Ferguson,
One second.
second by Councillor Dealing. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Against? Motion is passed. Sewerage Commission, Thompson subdivision approval payments, we're looking for a total of $917.21.
There's an addition up on
The
the screen.
additions on the screen. And as always, this is money that will be recouped with the reestablishment of the commission. We're just kind of paying the bills. So I'll be looking for a motion on the $917.21.
Make it open.
Motion by Councillor Dealey, seconder,
That's okay.
Councillor Thompson. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? So moved. Approval of accounts for November 29th, 2023, the revenue and expense report that's attached, that was with your copy. We'll be looking for a motion, mover for that. Moved by Councillor Bent, seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Dealing. Questions on the motion?
There's not that one, you know which one it is.
Councillor Stonehill has a question?
Yes, just wondering about the Explorer now. Will we get rid of it? now
There-
that we have?
They're supposed to be in here next Wednesday afternoon
Super.
to finish installing like the hotspots that go in the
Yeah.
ceiling. And then we can get rid of Explorer Net. And
I know, I said.
no, I agree. We needed the faster service.
So any further questions on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against, being none, motion's passed. 12, new business, appointment of an auditor.
I can speak to that.
So
if
I
you
was gonna
would
say,
like.
because I do have a note here for them.
We did receive two quotes. They're kind of difficult to get. One was from T. Saunders Doyle and the other one was from Grant Thornton. Grant Thornton, I'm just pulling it up here on my screen. I'll put it over here. This was like 5 o'clock Saturday, let's see, 5. It says 8 something PM, but it was 5 o'clock this afternoon I received it. It would be, their quote would be $20,000 plus a 9% admin fee. Plus HST, and then any additional costs in relating to setting up like tangible capital assets, pension, those sorts of things. The other quote we received from T. Doyle Saunders, just give me a second to pull that one up too. Oh, it's over here. Good things taught me into making that terrible. I believe. You can't see it, that's unhelpful.
Down bottom, just moving that down.
Okay. Can everybody see that? Heath Saunders Doyle has given us a quote of $12,000 plus HST to perform the annual audit. And then there would be a $4,500 plus HST one-time setup fee to get our financial statements established, because there is some work that has to be done. So overall, if you look at the quotes, T. Saunders Doyle is actually cheaper. And they would be falling into as close as we can get with the provincial regulations for submission. We will, knowingly going into this, we are going to be late. The deadline's like March 1 or March 30th. We will most likely not have statements until middle of April. But that is because so many other communities, like, are their clients before we have been, so priority, of course. They have provided services to, there's the list, and with the years of service as well. So they are quite experienced. So that, as a staff, that would be my recommendation. They're cheaper and they have so many years of service with other municipalities.
So, set it in.
That's
Yeah,
everything
okay.
related to that. Council will need to make the
So
decision.
we're looking for a motion to appoint T. Saunders Doyle as auditors for the rural community of Fundy Shores in accordance with local government. Act. Motion moved by Councilor Sonia, seconded by Councilor Thompson. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Against, seeing none, so move. 12B, reserve fund transfers. I'll just read this out and then I'm gonna turn it over to Linda. We've already had discussion, so I already know where we're at, so. Year-end projection of expenses and revenues has been completed and provided in tonight's agenda package. Well, that's why I'm gonna turn it over to you. Because right now, we're the only two that know. It is recommended that council consider any motions to finalize year-end reserve fund transfers and establish both an operating and a capital reserve fund. So I will turn it over to Linda and she will explain it.
No, you're good.
There, can everybody see that? This part right here? Okay, so as of right now, our revenue is showing almost $18,000 over what was projected. A lot of that's been the grants that we've received for the rec library and things like that. So they'll be mirrored in the expenses, of course. And overall expenses are showing a surplus of not being expended of about $89,000, giving us an overall surplus of approximately $106,000. That includes the original $25,000 that was budgeted. That the expenses already include the $25,000 that was budgeted, so that's already been taken into account. So that 106,000 is what it's looking like at the end of the year. There's from what's submitted from on this, there's about $250,000, 250,000 still outstanding that's expected to be expended before the end of the year. But that's how we arrive at that number once everything's taken into account. My personal recommendation to council will be, of course, transfer the original $25,000 that was budgeted into the operating reserve. Top up and transfer another $25,000 into that reserve. And then put $25,000 into capital reserve, which should leave the $56,000 as our account to, in case anything happens between now and the end of the year. Plus, it should, if all things go well, and we not have to spend it, it'd be a surplus for second previous year. So in 2025, we'll start out with that money waiting to be used and put to the needs of the community. That's kind of where I am. Is any questions? And I can explain where those surpluses on the expenses came from if council would like. If you would like. Is that it?
We kind of already went over some.
We did. It's been that, all that financial stuff we've done for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I just, in case there was any questions, I didn't want anybody to think I was not showing the full picture.
So I would agree with your professional recommendations at this time.
So it'd be a total of 50 into operating and 25 into capital.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do have motions drafted, but I didn't put numbers in until council had a chance to see the papers.
Now, in the 56,000 that we're carrying,
Mhm.
can you explain that a little more?
Why we would carry it, or?
No, I understand why we're carrying it today here in case something occurs, but we don't have access to it until 2025 if we don't use it.
It turns into a surplus and then we just carry it till then. That's part of the provincial legislation. It's second previous year. So any surplus or deficits you don't feel for 2 years.
So that's where we picked up the 25,000.
The 25,000 this year? No, that was part of the budgeting process.
Okay.
we actually this year, because we were two former municipalities, the municipality or the local service. Pardon me, we were two local service districts. La Pro Service District had a surplus of 17,500 and Musquash had a deficit of 73,000. So typically you'd have one or the other, not both. And next year when we head in, we have some of each too. So that's just until it all becomes just Fundy Shores budgeting. And that's 2025, where we'll just have either a surplus or a deficit. And it's looking like a surplus in the $50,000 range.
It's a good position to be in.
Yeah.
Good job on the budget.
About that time, that's when we're.
Need it.
Yeah. Agree.
So yeah, so above that, I guess on the budget, just because there's regular council, so.
Mhm.
I do get excited about the budget because it is our first one, so this is additional good news, so I mean, we're going into it with.
Mhm.
Good funding and plus building up a capital reserve and saying all of that, there's no tax increase. To Fundy Shores, so just. As an overlay, so just to be clear to the community, there's no tax increase within the municipality, the rural community of Fundy Shores for this budget, so.
Which is
That
probably
way-
the best news.
And that's what everybody I
That's
know,
what
out of all of these numbers and
Yes.
budgeting, that's the one thing I know I've been asked already several times, and that's the one thing that people, that's the only question they have. Is, you know, because they,
We will,
Yes, sir.
so, well, yeah, and, but the tax rate here for Fundy Shores will
Right,
not be
that's-
touched by this council, so that's a good thing. And considering the, again, this is another kudos to our council. Considering the price of everything that's going up all around us, there's some councils where government has to step back in, there's some that's having a hard job getting a budget. These numbers are excellent and you're doing a great job. Like this is, I know the amalgamation this year came at some, still a lot of, picking and pulling, but it's, again, I think for this budget, when we look at the numbers, what we're gonna get in the next year and no tax increase, I think this council's done a bang on job. So.
thank you. How are you?
So, in saying that, are we looking for, do you want a motion on that?
Can anybody see those? Yeah.
So, yeah, so we are looking for the two motions.
And they'll need to be read separately.
Yeah, so we'll need the first motion, the second motion. So if anybody wants to make the motion on the first would be, we would be looking for that.
I'll make the motion. To be resolved to establish an operating reserve fund and deposit 50,000 from the general operating fund prior to year end.
I'll second it.
That includes it.
Okay. That's all I have to show. Any questions on the motion? You got the second.
Yes, it is.
Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Against, none, it's so moved. And number two, looking for a separate, another motion, you got that, yeah, okay.
The motion be it resolved to establish a capital reserve fund and deposit 25,000 from the general operating fund prior to year end.
Moved by Councilor Benz, seconded by Councilor Deal. Questions on the motion? None, all those in favor? Against? Seeing none, so moved. And that's it for that, there's no closed session.
I don't
Yeah,
have
nothing,
anything.
okay. So in closing, I just want to say another thing, I know it's a lot, but I sent an email out earlier to everyone about the homelessness and what's going on in St. Stephen. I did reach out via email to Mayor McCacken. So just as being part of public safety, not only for Fundy Shores, but sitting on the regional public safety. I did make it clear to the council that if there was anything that I could do or that could be done extra, that I would be more than willing to help. It's an unfortunate circumstance that's taken a lot. If anybody's been following it a great deal, yeah, it's a lot and it's a lot, you know, so I just want to say to them too. To St. Stephen Council, like kudos to them, because they made. I believe one of the first, maybe, I think in the province, I'm not sure, I don't have the stats or data in front of me, but. You know, to enforce this or to send in. You know, an emergency act with that to province is a huge deal, and I don't think it should be taken lightly. I know they haven't taken it lightly. And at the end of the day, you know, I will go on record to say that I think it's up to all parties municipally and provincially to come together and not be bickering about things, but get to the table and come up with a resolution. And I think that's what St. Stephen's been asking for. I think that's all they want. And I think anybody that can reach out, you know, even at the regional level for us and can come together and say, you know what, let's just get to the table. And, you know, while because what doesn't change is while we're all in here as politicians bickering and trying to come up with solutions, the homelessness doesn't change. They're still outside this door, outside these windows, and they're cold. So, you know, I hope St. Stephen in the coming days can make some inroads to this. I know their council is all for it. I hope government will come to the table. And just remember that even though we're a newer municipality or rural community, I guess this can happen in our community too. And it may have, and we just don't see it. It's just not as themed here as it is in Eastern Charlotte or in St. Stephen.
Is it accommodation that is a holdup?
I think it's a lot of things, and it comes down to a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, a lot of, I think just a lot of arms reaching in and nobody. Yeah, I'd say more the bureaucracy, red tape. I think if a lot of that was removed and, you know, and again, I can't speak for their council or for Mayor McCaffrey, or I just know what I know, and on the outside looking in, if it was my community, I understand their frustrations at the political level. And that's the sad part is I think we should be taking the labels off of political parties or whoever, and we're all humans, we're all elected to do a job, and let's just come together and try to come up with something, even if it's an interim solution for a winter until they get a bigger plan in place,
Absolutely.
then let's just get it done. And then I would expect the same here, and I know there's money's always involved, but again, I kudos to him. I guess I just know now as a mayor, this year of how politically things can be, and I know Mayor McCaffrey and his council's heart is in the right place, but it's the outside.
You still have to walk around. and
It's
people like
still-
you're heading to your
Well,
own
and
home.
so I'll say this, and I said this today, is government put us in government reform because they said that they wanted our people, our communities to have a voice. So now that they have a voice, it seems that voice is still, it's being heard here at these tables, but it's not being heard at government. So I think that voice still has to carry through, because at the end of the day, it is government. They're still our overlookers, they're still our, so I want to send a kudos out to Mayor McCaffrey and his council for the job that they've done, and they keep going forward, and just to know that everybody is thinking of them too, because I know how hard of a decision it was, and the days and weeks to come is going to be difficult. And
Now, are
like
the
you
other-
said, it's,
Council's able to put a letter in solidarity or.
and that's what I don't know. I do have RSC tomorrow, so again, I think that's going to be on part of the topic too. So I don't know for sure. I would certainly support and make that motion if it comes to that. I don't know if we can, because it's a policing meeting tomorrow, so. But again, it's on record that anything we can do, and I think anything we can do regionally, I think we should. And who knows, right? This could be the stepping stone for what the province needs. If this is there, it could expand to other areas. It's certainly not just St. Stephen, it's not, it's just newer to them, but it's. So anyway, I just wanted to send a kudos out to them because I know the tough job that, as we all do now as politicians, that how council, how it can be, if it was in our community, in our backyard, how we would be. Just as distraught, so anyway, that's all I probably went on too much about it, and maybe Mayor McCaffrey will slap me in tomorrow, I'm not sure. But I did appreciate and I've been watching it and then, you know, kudos to them. So in saying that, our next meetings will be committee of the whole on December the 20th, if council so chooses. Did I read this right?
I'd like to make a motion to skip the next.
I second.
Did we have?
Thank you
so-
very much.
was already decided.
Well, it needed to be official.
So do we don't need, there's nothing.
I don't have anything pressing for the next thing, for the January one, because provincial EMO was pushing for meetings regarding Point Latrell. I did invite Roger Shepherd down to our January meeting. Committee of the whole meeting to do his presentation, then I apologize.
Can we make the motion not to hold the meeting unless something pressing comes up that we need to reconvene?
Yes, well, the mayor can call one if something pressing comes up.
I was
So
gonna say, because we're meeting right up until the 18th, so
Yeah.
I'm in meetings right till,
That's
I
my
believe it's the 18th, yeah. So
Mine.
it's-
So if something arises from them, we could even have a teams meeting, does it need to be in?
the only time we can do teams is,
Yeah, it's,
it's more complicated with provincial legislation regarding
Okay,
teams.
I was just curious,
But, okay,
I was thinking. more
I'm
of you
just,
guys.
I'm just confused on that statement because the RSC uses them, do they not?
Our bylaw is drafted for it right
so
now.
we have a separate bylaw compared to what the RSC.
And there is, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. There is a draft available in the shared drive for council to review and make any comments on. There's actually 2 in there. I just put them on today. If council wants to look at them and remark on any changes they'd like to
So
see.
maybe in January, I can.
I don't foresee anything that would require a meeting if staff doesn't foresee it. So unless, again, if there's something, then it would definitely be an emergency meeting called by for it, but yeah, by me. But I mean, I don't see it unless something, and again, I never say never because I know things can transpire quickly.
Whether,
Things can change, right? There could be some type of an emergency that actually happens or whatever where we need to be, but yeah, if everybody's good, then I.
Yeah. You have a
Oh,
motion on the floor.
So who made the motion to,
Councillor
and a
H.
second by Councillor,
Sign.
so motion on the floor by Councillor Real, second by Councillor Sonia to delete, not have a December 20th meeting. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? I'm gonna assume it's unanimous.
I don't get a vote, but I sure would vote for it.
Oh,
We can help.
Throw it in. So I guess in saying that, the next regular council meeting will be January the 10th.
You will notice
Oh,
that is a week
yes.
late, just because I'm on vacation.
So do we need the motion?
It's
to
been
change?
publicly
Okay.
announced. You're okay.
So, yeah, so the next meeting, so just make a note of that, and that it is a week pushed up or back. For January 10th at 6 p.m. Here at the community building. And on that note, everybody have a good New Year's and happy Christmas, and we need a motion to adjourn.
Give me that.
Deputy Mayor Ferguson,
I
seconded
second
by,
that.
seconded by Councilor Vance, and all those in favor, I'm assuming that's unanimous too. I was just gonna say, I didn't think there would be,
Okay,
we can go back,
I'm gonna end the meeting.
we're in the meeting.